University of the West Indies, UWI. All right, my name is Justin. I'm the Assistant Registrar for the UWI China Institute of Information Technology. At the moment, I am not in China. I'm speaking to you directly from the patio of my home in Barbados. All right, so I hope you're ready to hear more about us. First of all, why UWI? We call ourselves UWI, by the way, as in you plus we. UWI, we work together and do amazing things and achieve awesome goals. The first one, we're inclusive. So we actually recognize and we accept the Gaokao examination score. Now, there's no cutoff limit. There's no upper limit. There's no lower limit for what we accept. However, we look at a more holistic score. We'll look at your performance of course, in English. We'll look at your performance in mathematics and other subjects. So if you're applying to study a subject that is in social sciences, by the way, and you have a good score in social sciences before you even come to the UWI from the Gaokao, then we accept that as well. Okay, so we look at a more holistic application process. While you're applying, please, anything that can help your application, just submit it. All right, it may seem trivial to you, but anything that's related to showing that you are hardworking, showing that you are inclusive as well, showing your way of thinking, showing that you can think critically, showing your creativity, please add them in. Something as simple as volunteering at a supermarket might be the difference or might help us understand you better. So the whole point is that we're trying to understand you as a student, the applicant, through your application. So your scores are only one side of who you are and your performance, okay? We also recognize credentials from other countries outside the Caribbean, and we can do that through the World Educational Services Report, WES report, okay? All right, another reason, why UE? Because we provide a path to a degree. We don't cut off a grade for Gaokao, as I said before, all right? We can also offer remedial English courses if you didn't pass your IELTS or TOEFL at a certain level, because we do require that you have TOEFL or IELTS, given that your degree will be taken in English. So if you don't have it at a certain level that you may need to matriculate, we do have remedial classes that you can take before you start your degree to bring your TOEFL up to the level that it should be. So you can understand the courses and not have a problem at all. All right. We also have exciting programs right now. We have a 2+2 Bachelor of Science in Software Engineering, where students studying for the first 2 years in the Caribbean, in Barbados, and the next 2 years in Suzhou in China with our partner, including an internship and a capstone project. There are also other programs on campus in Barbados with the Faculty of Law, where one can start one's degree in Barbados for the first few years and then end it in Scotland. So we have many programs that, apart from the traditional degree, can have you travel the world and study at the same time. Your UE degree is accredited in several countries, including most countries in the Western Hemisphere that have signed on, or those countries rather in the Western Hemisphere that have signed on to the Washington Accord for Academic Judgment, meaning the United Kingdom, the US, Canada, and so on, also in CARICOM territories and in China. Okay, so why UE? Another point. Well, this slide is a bit slow, but I'll tell you what it says. Why UE? We have partnerships with more than 50 different institutions across the world. We have a partnership with Centennial College, which is also based in Suzhou under another partnership. We have partnership with UK in Africa, University of Lagos in Nigeria. We have partnerships with SUNY University in New York for leadership. We have our partnership in China as well for software engineering with the Global Institute, with the Suzhou Global Institute. So we are indeed a global university rooted in the Caribbean. And even if you want to leave the Caribbean after you study, that's okay. We know that you have goals and career options that can be global, just as we are, all right? But we are partnered with more than 50 universities again in more than 14 countries who will recognize our university degree. We have partners in the US, like Yale University as well. We have partners in Canada, such as York, University of Alberta. One of my professors before was even from the University of Waterloo. and definitely in the UK because our roots, our founding roots are deeply intertwined with the United Kingdom and its governance. Our first ever vice chancellor, our first rather chancellor, was the granddaughter of Queen Victoria. All right, so we definitely have strong partnerships with our British universities because we follow their model for the most part of university structure. Okay. We also have other partner universities in countries like Finland, in Sweden, in Italy, and in Japan. So for more information for the university in general, please go to uwi.edu. Or if anything, you can send me an email after for more information. Okay. Specifically today, I wanted to speak about Barbados a bit and our software engineering program, in which takes you from Barbados to Suzhou. So Barbados, here we are on the map. This is the Caribbean. Up here we have North America. We know the US already and Canada. In the south, we have Brazil, the biggest country in South America. And in the middle, we have a smattering of little dots, little rocks in the middle of the ocean. The biggest one that's shaped like a curve is Cuba. And then we have Haiti and the Dominican Republic. But then if we go on down to the right, the southeast, we have an island chain that shows you Barbados. So our university is the University of the Caribbean, as I've said before. We have more than 50,000 students and 5 campuses. There's a campus in Jamaica. There's a campus in Antigua and Barbuda. There's a campus in Barbados, and there's a campus in Trinidad and Tobago. So our campus in Barbados is outlined in yellow. All right. So that's the main campus we'll be speaking on for this course. These are all our campuses. All right. So let's hear more about this Barbados. How do you say Barbados in Chinese? Barbados. What does it sound like? It sounds strange. Maybe it sounds like something to do with your father. So let's clarify a bit. We were a former British colony discovered by the Portuguese. The Portuguese saw trees on our island with roots hanging from the branches and figured, hey, those are like beards. So they gave the country the name Barbados, Los Barbados, which means the bearded one, the country with the beard. All right, and that name stuck. The British came and used the country, turned it into a society that it is today. So currently, our culture is influenced by Western African culture and British culture. In our ethnic breakdown, we have a majority Black population. And a friend of mine who's actually from China reminded me, gave me a compliment and said, well, we're the most successful Black economy in the world. I don't know where the statistics are to back that up, so please don't quote me on that. But yes, we are majority Black, but we do have some other races in here. For example, our most famous person, Rihanna, her father is actually Caucasian, and he's also just as Barbadian as any other person. All right. The majority of the country is Christian, so we observe holidays and festivals like Christmas, Easter, and you can. Our university schedule is based around those holidays being time off. Okay. So what else do you want to know about Barbadian people? We're confident, as we see Rihanna before, and she wears many daring things, but she's very smart and very adept at getting attention to what she thinks are causes that are important to her, and that comes through her confidence. We're also easygoing. We like to work hard, but we also like to relax. We like to work hard and enjoy the fruits of our labor. The environment around us is so beautiful that on any given day, you could be in a meeting for a very long time, and then you leave the meeting and end the day at the beach, having a swim or going surfing or having a cup of tea in a garden somewhere. So there's a blend of working hard to earn and also enjoying the fruits of one's labor in Barbados. We also play hard. Here we have a picture of Harry in other days when Harry and William frequented the island many times for polo championships here in Barbados. Okay, we like to relax. And now, one may ask how we're able to do all of this. It seems like we're just one big party country. I would argue that we're not. We were able to do all that because our government, upon independence, recognized that in order for the country to grow, we needed a strong middle class. And in order for the middle class to grow, we needed to have an educated population. So our government made education free for Barbadian citizens from 1966 up until now. If you'd like to get a degree at university, The government of Barbados does not charge money to Barbadian citizens. Okay. Um, okay. Right. This means that there's a pathway, a definite pathway for persons in this country to go from being students through their own merit and earning accolades through their own merits and their own acumen and intelligence directly into professions like law, as you see here with on the right hand side. We have the Chief Justice and the legal counsel who just passed the bar in Barbados. Again, we follow the British model, so that's why they're dressed the way they are. Our partnership in Suzhou is with an institute called the Global Institute of Software Technology. I must advise you, though, that this name has now officially changed to the Suzhou Global Institute. And this partnership is rooted in a desire for more people from the Caribbean and from the developing world to become adept at preparing for the new industrial revolution, which is the third industrial revolution, which is a digital revolution. Being prepared to handle AI, being prepared to create the apps that we need to help make our lives better, more efficient in our parts of the world. And no better place to do that than in China, where the economy is cashless, the usage of apps is widespread and penetrates demographics from as long as infants up to octogenarians. Suzhou is just due west of Shanghai, about 2 hours drive by car, 30 minutes by the high-speed rail. And one of the things we love about Suzhou that drove us to partner with a college in Suzhou is that it matches a little bit to our style of living and our values in Barbados. We do work very hard, but the pace of life is not as frenetic or as crazy as other parts, other major world capitals, where sometimes you may wonder why you're working so hard at the end of the day. And also, Suzhou offers natural beauty through its old canals, its blend of preserving its traditions with looking forward toward the new world, looking forward with modernity. We appreciate that, and as a value that we also share in Barbados and in the Caribbean. Suzhou is ranked as the sixth largest GDP in China in terms of RMB. This is a 2022 estimate rather. Yes. And our program, like I said before, is a 2+2 Bachelor of Software Engineering with a specialization in mobile app design. This does not mean that when you graduate, you won't know anything else about software engineering other than mobile app design. It means you'll be good at mobile app design because that's one technical area of strength that you'll have. But after you graduate, you can feel free to expand into other areas as well. The first 2 years gives you a suitable foundation to branch out into other areas of specialty beyond graduation. So like I said, the first 2 years are spent at the UWI campus in Barbados, then the final 2 years at the Suzhou Global Institute. Here is a rundown of the first 2 years that are spent in Barbados, and you'll notice that a lot of this work is theoretical. There's a stronger emphasis on theory in Barbados with courses like Introduction to Computing, Discrete Mathematics for Software Engineers, and so on. And students are expected to pass all these courses before they can move on to Suzhou. If a student doesn't pass 1 or 2 courses, we can probably work with you to do makeup exams while you're in Suzhou, as long as your lecturer has agreed to offer you a makeup exam. Some lecturers will keep your coursework grade and offer you a makeup exam if you have to. But it totally depends on the lecturer. If the lecturer agrees with it, we'll facilitate you in Suzhou. The third and fourth years in Suzhou, China are a lot more hands-on. You'll have a lot more projects to work on with milestones throughout the semester. And it's all building you up and gearing you toward getting that internship and doing well, knocking it out of the park with your colleagues and your future employer, with the hope that you can develop a relationship that allows you to continue professionally working with these folks in the end. Now, that depends on you as the individual student. We set you up for that with the hope that that becomes your success, but it's all on you as a student to make that happen. All right. In the past, we've had students who've done well, and we've rearranged technical tours as well. One was of NEO's testing center in Anting. And it was great for students to make the connection between electric vehicles and software engineering because one can argue they're basically just giant computers on wheels. Know that software is governing everything on how a car functions rather than an old internal combustion engine. We also organize tours to China Telecom, China Mobile, so students can get familiar with network computing and perhaps learn how China Mobile manages to continue to have a sustainable service for so many people throughout the country. And of course, we have removed all our electives and replaced them with Chinese. So it's impossible for you to graduate from this program without knowing some Chinese. And this is not just the language. We also intersperse the language with some cultural activities like Tai Chi, calligraphy. And as the holidays come around, we involve you in holiday festivities, making 粽子 for 端午节, and also taking you to the museum in Suzhou, which is world renowned and designed by Bei Yuming, IMP. All right. In addition, student life in China is quite abundant in experiences for learning outside of the classroom. In academia, we have the formal and the informal curriculum. Outside of your formal studies, you'll be invited to receptions hosted by the government of Barbados to commemorate our independence celebrations. You'll be invited to Chinese New Year celebrations and making dumplings, as we see here. Even one of our students got invited to a wedding from one of the staff that work at the university. He was part of the bridal party. And through that, he was able to learn about Chinese weddings and the traditions and the games that are played there. Students even get scholarships as well, based on their own merit. So outside of the classroom, your informal curriculum, it cannot be replicated in this program anywhere else in the world. And of course, sports is a major part of life in the Caribbean, and Caribbean students don't like to disappoint as well in the outside world. In the top right-hand corner, our student Nikoi Smith was able to secure an internship just by being an outstanding footballer. He had so many companies in the district fighting for him to join them because when we had a district championships again, they wanted him to help lead their companies to victory. So there is a good blend of formal and informal curriculum for this program. And we hope that as students, you immerse yourself in everything it has to offer, even in the classroom and beyond. Okay, so what can you earn? After hearing about this unique program, it's a little bit strange, never heard of it. You earn a Bachelor of Science in Software Engineering. That comes from our university. It comes from the University of the West Indies, okay? The Suzhou Global Institute of Software Technology, now the Suzhou Global Institute, they do not offer degrees at this time. You'll get a certificate of graduation from them, all right? But the degree is a degree from the University of the West Indies. You'll also have 3 months of work experience on your internship, which can be even more. We had students who graduated during the pandemic who came back to Barbados and continued to work remotely for the Chinese developers for even a full year after they graduated. All right, so this guarantees that when you enter the job market, you're not entering as a fresh graduate. You have some experience under your belt that you can use to bargain for a better position in the company, or for maybe a bit more in terms of salary, or even better projects to work on in the future. All right, you also will get Mandarin skills because the courses are built into the program. HSK is not mandatory, but we highly encourage it, especially if you want to stay in China to pursue graduate studies after this program. And you will also be expected to complete an ID certification in the area of the industry that you prefer. Past students have done the ID certification in CompTIA, in Python certification, in CAPM for project management. You can choose which area matters most to you. It's just another way for you to have another credential outside of what is taught in the program directly. All right, entry requirements. We require a minimum of 5 CXC, CSEC. Now in the Caribbean, we call it CSEC, CSE, CXC. These are equivalent to GCSE grades in the UK system. All right, you must have English language and mathematics, and you must have 2 approved laboratory sciences and another subject. So that means that you must have either physics and chemistry, chemistry and biology and physics, or so on, okay? That's what we mean when we say an approved laboratory science, all right? All the other stuff is specific to the Caribbean only, so I won't bother to mention that too much. Let's just say that we want a minimum of 5 GCSE equivalent courses, and we need the grades at either A to C, and then we must have English language and mathematics and 2 approved laboratory sciences in there as well. All right, if you're coming from the American system, with an associate degree, your GPA must be a minimum of 2.5, okay, or higher. All right. And you must have passing grades if you're coming from the Chinese system. You must have passing grades in mathematics and the sciences for Gaokao. Okay. All right. And TOEFL is also required if you're coming from a country where English language is not the main language of delivery for your degree. Okay. Fees, our program stands at 10,000 US dollars per year for all years 1 through 4. So each year you will pay 10,000 US dollars per year. For international students. For those students coming from UWI contributing countries, meaning countries that contribute toward the University of the West Indies in the Caribbean, we give you a slight discount. So you'll pay 7,000 US dollars per year for all years 1 through 4. Living expenses at the University of the West Indies, Cave Hill in Barbados can be seen here. It's a rough estimate based on the cost of living in Barbados. And the cost of living in China is a little bit cheaper. Contact China Admissions directly on how to apply.